Hello, sacred souls. It's Susanna from Shamanic Shaman. What I have here for us tonight is breaking the demonic narcissistic wound within us. And a lot of times that is connected to blood spilled, and then we're banishing those energies. So I'm going to explain a little bit more. So the first thing is I got one of those paintable flower pots at the dollar store that has a hole at the bottom, and I painted it black to represent the narcissistic, never-ending need to fill the emptiness, the dark emptiness inside, but it's a bottomless pit. So therefore, like, if any love energy is poured in, it just runs right out, right? So that's what this represents. And what I was shown was that, or made to understand, I should say, it was more claircognizant, that even victims have the narcissistic energies about them. So even if, let's say, you're a victim of narcissistic abuse, you carry those energies with you as well, even if you're not actively the abuser, right? And a lot of times those dark energies form an entity. So this is actually what came up after the test run ceremony that I did for the virtual group ceremony that I want to start offering. And this morning in my meditation, like, I could feel this dark energy in me after the ceremony that I did 2 days ago. And yesterday, 4 things broke without me touching them. And that's when I knew I had to establish boundaries, and that I wouldn't be able to socialize with someone where I thought it's wonderful to meet another person who is also into shamanism, and, we could maybe meet for coffee once in a while or something like that. But at the same time, I could also sense the darkness, and not as in bad person kind of darkness, but as in a lot of unhealed stuff, a lot of depression, and very low vibrational, right? So she is not the kind of person who would actively be abusive or narcissistic, yet she carried that wound, right? So that's what came up. And in my meditation this morning, when I pulled the darkness out and I threw it away, it was in the form of a demon. So that's why, like, it's the narcissistic demon, as I refer to it, like when energy takes on form, like dark energy takes on form. It can take on other forms too, of course, right? But that's what came up here. And the thing is, in that ceremony, we had to banish the ancient evil snake, or snake energy. So I had made a snake out of clay, since I couldn't find the wooden ones that I prefer to use, but the dollar store hasn't had them in a while. So I had chopped it with an axe. I had a whole bunch of pieces. I just removed the other ones because I needed the space here. But one piece looked like a hand. See how this is like 4 fingers and the thumb, right? So I had put these pieces aside to let them dry because it was actually still wet or moist, humid, when doing the ceremony. And the hand was intact before I told that person, unfortunately, I cannot socialize outside of ceremonies with them or with her. Um, and after I had established that boundary, that energetic and emotional boundary, this hand was broken and the energy interference, the dark energy interference stopped and nothing else broke. Right? So it's actually amazing. And if you look here, it's like all the fingers of the hand, not the thumb, but all the other fingers broke. And here, I think it's missing a piece or two. Like it was a proper looking finger similar to that one, right? So that really is that taker energy, right? The narcissists being the takers. And sometimes when someone is really in the victim role, in the victim mentality, there can be a lot of desperation for help. And I've been there in the past myself, so I do understand it. But when you're energetically suffering a lot and you have like all this dark stuff happening in your life and everything is going wrong and these dark energies are coming at you and you might feel really depressed and so on, right? You can have that clingy, needy, desperate desire to just have someone else rescue you, right? So that taking the energy from anyone who can help you, right? So in that sense, so let's return to this. So that's the backstory here. And I brought in the banishing candle again to continue banishing those dark energies. And then this morning, I had, oh, I actually put it away. Sorry. I had this red syrup bottle that suddenly tipped over. And the moment that happened, and it lay sideways, and without the lid, it would have spilled, right? But I mean, luckily the lid was on. But what popped into my head at the same time was blood spilled. So I knew that all of that goes back to trauma from blood that was spilled. Now, for most of us, that would have been either in a past life or might have been passed down through our lineages, right? So let's say if our ancestors lived through war and let's say, people were killed, maybe relatives were killed, or it could have also been the trauma of soldiers coming home after, being around, you know, the battlefield for too long and being shell shocked and all that kind of stuff, right? But it could also go back to ancient times where in a past ancient lifetime, we might have been sacrificed to the false light gods in whatever ancient culture and civilization, right? So those kind of experiences cause a lot of trauma in us, and that usually also causes a lot of dark interference, energy leakages, and all that kind of stuff, right? So there's a lot connected to that. So that's what we're dealing with here today. And with the breaking of this flower pot, any and all connections to those traumatized, narcissistic demon energies shall be broken, including any spells, curses, and hexes that might keep those energies attached to us. Now, this might not be the case for everyone, but in some cases, When there's a demonic entity that gets removed, if it keeps reattaching, sometimes there was a curse spoken or put on that soul or that person. And if the curse doesn't get removed at the same time, it's going to keep coming back, right? Now, there are also other situations. If our wound gets triggered again, that can also come back in, right? So that would be another thing. So it doesn't have to be the case, but it is possible. So all of that shall be done with the smashing of this pot. All right, enough being said. Let's smudge and jump right in. Oh, and sorry, before I forget, I'm planning on actually using more or less the time slot of the positive perspective circles for those virtual shamanic healing ceremonies, since I feel that it's a lot more beneficial for people to actually do the ceremonies. It was also for me sort of a way of gearing up towards that, since I'm still going through my own healing as well, and getting a positive perspective in situations that we perceived as negative is a big part of that as well, of course. So this is something I still recommend that everyone tries to practice on their own as well, right? But just for time constraints and, let's say, importance of like what I consider a higher priority, if I have to choose between the two, obviously it's going to be the ceremonies in my, like, that's what I will choose, right? So on the 22nd of March, which is the third Sunday in March, we will do it. However, since this will take it could take up to 3 hours. The test run was, I think, about 2.5, 2 3/4 hours roughly. We talked a little bit before and at the end, but pretty much. So I'll start at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time instead of 2 p.m. I will post it later, okay? But I will charge $15 online, and basically it will only go through meetup.com. On Facebook, I don't have any way of doing that, so it will just be on meetup.com for now, but I will also post the information on Facebook, so in case you don't remember, you can at least check the information there and then, go to, meetup.com in case you don't remember. Okay, so with that being said, let's get started. Oh, sorry. One more thing. Since I've had this strong feeling that a lot needs to be healed in the female collective, I felt that I needed to start with a healing for the wounded feminine. However, I also want to be fair towards the wounded masculine collective. So I can do another ceremony for the male collective. However, since I'm a female, I want to leave that up to you. So you can comment under this video if you would like me to do one. I mean, I've always been a tomboy. I've always had more masculine interests, and until my mid-teens, I wanted to be a guy, and then eventually accepted being a woman. So, I feel at least part of me can definitely relate to the more masculine aspects, but I am not a man, so you decide. I was actually thinking there are two things we can do. Is one, I will facilitate and You will each do your prayers, so therefore I can simply facilitate and be there for you and guide you through the ceremony. The other thing is we can all meet. We can do a little meet and greet, and you can decide on your own who amongst the men could take over and lead the ceremony or facilitate it, and then I could step out. So you could use the Zoom meeting that I create, but then you would be on your own. And knowing how these ceremonies work, you could do it on your own. So these are the two options, since I don't really have a male shamanic healer, practitioner, energy healer, or anyone similar that I'm working with. So unfortunately, I don't have that. So these are the two options that have come to me so far. So you can let me know down below what your thoughts are on this. And if there are no comments, then I'm going to assume that a healing for the male collective will be a no-go, but I will also offer one that deals with both male and female wound healings for like the wounded masculine and feminine within all of us, right? So that is then the next alternative anyhow, where a lot of that would be covered. So yeah, and I think that's everything for now. So let's get started and yeah, jump into this one. Please cleanse, clear, and renew all of our energies and take away anything dark, low vibrational, and unhealed, and transmute it into pure divine essence and return it to the universe for reintegration. And help us fully and completely step into oneness by reconnecting with our own inner divinity, as well as that all around us, and to see the divinity in everything and everyone. And so it is. Thank you. Dankeschön, all my relations. Sorry, one more thought of in addition to the announcements. For any transgendered viewers who might not identify as 100% male or 100% female, you're welcome to join any of those ceremonies that are more geared towards one or the other. And in that case, I would say just tune into that side of you, and that's the part that is joining, right? And otherwise, like if you identify as female, then this upcoming ceremony would be the right one. And if you identify as male, then the one that I would like to offer, if there is interest, then that would be one for you as well. Okay, but that's it. And I think we're good and set for the ceremony now. So let's call in our divine team. Dear divine higher power of the universe, our higher selves, and our entire divine spirit team of the light, including the 4 elements and the 4 directions, please join the ceremony and assist the healings, prayers, and protection with all of your powers. Thank you. Please close the circle of protection around us. Thank you. Okay. I personally, oh yeah, sorry, let's take a moment to think of the things that we're grateful for. For me personally, yesterday was actually a wonderfully productive day where I did some woodworking, which I hadn't done in ages. And today the dust was still settling in my mini apartment. And it felt amazing coming home to the smell of freshly cut wood. I just love that smell. It's so grounding. So I'm really thankful for that. And I had a good day at work today, even though it took me forever to get up this morning because of the energy having been very dense and heavy on me. But once I got going, then the day turned out really well. So I'm also very grateful and thankful for that. And yeah, all the guidance for the ceremony here tonight, which I feel is an important one. So with that being said, I hope all of you had already or have already had a chance to think of the blessings you've had over the past day or two. And let's jump right in. So with that being said, let me see. I have some dust on here too. With this black banishing candle, let all the dark energies and entities, including demons, but not limited to them, that are connected to the trauma of narcissistic abuse, as well as the trauma that caused the narcissistic development, the development of the narcissistic personality as a trauma response. Thank you. Let all of that be healed, transmuted, and banished from our lives. And with that being said, with the taker energy already been broken, let me actually quickly put that out. I don't know where I put the lid. I think it's somewhere over there, but I'm in the middle of moving stuff around, so I don't want to move too much. Let's see if it stops. Should be out pretty much. No, I think, no, the smoke is stubborn. Okay, never mind. I'll deal with it later. Okay. So with that being said, by smashing this dark or black painted flower pot, let any and all of those dark, low vibrational, toxic, unhealed, narcissistic, demon energies and entities, all those narcissistic demons that have attached to us or that are haunting us or that we might attract again and again, let all of that, those patterns and anything connected to it be broken, including any and all spells, curses, hexes, and dark magic that makes them come back into our lives again and again. Let those toxic patterns now and forever be broken. Whoa! Oh, my ear's beeping. Whew. And one more for this big piece. Oh! Oh, there's a lot of suffocation energy. I can barely breathe, but it's not asthma. It's more like in the throat. It's like someone's trying to strangle me, but obviously not really. It's like that That's the energy. Whoa. Woo. Oh. And I felt that we needed bells, just like churches have bells, and Tibetans use bells, actually Buddhists in general, and then a bunch of spiritual practices. I feel like they really expel those dark, toxic, and demonic dark entity kind of energies. And oh, I forgot to take this off. Oh no, I did. Okay. And with the ketchup, let all the trauma from the shed blood, represented by the red here, flow out of us. Let all that trauma actually be more like squirted out, just like you would excrete something in the bathroom. Ugh. Okay, that's good enough. Ugh. We shall be freed from all that trauma that had kept our energy centers, I want to say stagnated, like the opposite of flowing. It kept them rigid, stagnant. That's the word. And almost a bit like fossilized, not quite, but when it comes to language learners, when people are stuck at one level, that's called fossilized in the ESL teaching community. So the equivalent of that for our energy centers, so that's the chakras, right? So all that trauma was jamming up our energy field. And with the salt on top, it shall be banished before I flush it down the toilet. Oh, that feels so much better. Oy. Whoa. I'll have to check. Actually, looks like only 2 small pieces, and yeah, a few tiny ones of the porcelain flew over there and down, but most of it is up here, so. Oh, wow. Sorry, give me a moment. Okay. I also came across a video on YouTube. If I remember, I'll put the name in the description, but it talked about how trauma is stuck in our chest and in our voice, and through some singing exercises, it can be loosened up and cleared. And the one that I was watching that was chest related, she talked about this audible sigh. So let's actually do that one together, and I'm just gonna model it for you. It's like, ah, and then your voice just goes down. So you start somewhere sort of in your whatever comfortable range, and then it goes down to the bottom part of your range, whatever your voice range is, right? Actually, you can start higher, not just in the middle. I think it's higher. But one more time, let's do that together, everyone. And generally speaking, humming is a very good sound healing that helps us within our body break up stagnant energy. And if you want to intensify it, you can also cup your ears. I'm not going to do it because I feel I want to hear properly for the video recording, but you may if you want to. So let's just hum a little bit, and I will just actually get the one bell again. Actually, I think this one. Or you can also open it. You can hum in whatever feels comfortable, whatever wants to come out. But just to have that vibration in your chest and in your vocal cords and your throat. It can also vibrate in your head depending on how high or low your sound is. And just to have that vibration in your body. All right. Let us take a deep breath in, breathing in pure divine light. And let us breathe out any remaining darkness that we can let go of at this time. Oh. Yeah, I feel like maybe one or two more sighs would be good. So let's maybe do one more. You can do several if you want. Oh yeah, and these are called lip rolls. Anything. If you want to move your shoulders, roll your neck, just loosen any tension that you've held in different parts of your body. Just move those parts. Whatever feels comfortable, whatever you feel guided to. Okay. And let us fully come back and let us thank our divine team for all the help, assistance, and protection in this healing ceremony. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, no. Yawning wants to come through as well. And that's actually good too. That means we need that extra oxygen, right? We need that extra air. Oh, so once more, thank you so much to our divine team. Let this ceremony now be finished, and please accept our love, thanks, gratitude, and blessings. Please open the circle of protection, but keep us strongly and massively safe, shielded, and protected with a massive divine shield of protection. And so it is. Thank you, Dankeschön, all my relations, all our relations. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for watching, for being a part of this ceremony, and for being on your own healing and ascension journey. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share, and subscribe. And I'm also sending you... Oh, and of course, if you'd like to support the channel further, there's a PayPal link down below. And next week, I will actually post the first virtual shamanic healing ceremony on meetup.com under shamanic fire ceremonies. I will put all the information on both the Alemannic Shaman Facebook page as well as on meetup.com, of course. There are some guidelines and outlines and lists that I've created, but I need to adjust them a little bit. So I need to make sure I have enough downtime to do that. So mid next week, I will get all of that together and then post it. So please keep your eyes peeled. So next Wednesday, probably. So by Thursday of next week, all the information should be posted properly. And once more, thank you so much for being here. And I'm sending you tons of love, light, and blessings. Hopefully see some of you in that first virtual ceremony, and then many of you in the next ones that are following. And that will be a monthly thing as well. So I really look forward to meeting many of you. And in the meantime, I'm sending you tons of love, light, and blessings. Be well until next time, and I wish you great abundance. Bye for now.